Do you see any similarities between the message you were trying to send with the war is making you poor bill and the message that Food Not Bomb is trying to send?
I do. The underlying message for a lot of what we did was very simple. It's the 3,000-year-old message that a just society is one that shelters the homeless, that helps the sick, and that feeds the hungry. We've known that now for literally thousands of years. Not just us, but societies all over the world. And I think Food Not Bombs is made up of people that recognize that fundamental underlying truth, that we are our brother's keepers, and that when someone is in need and you can help, you ought to help. So I have a lot of sympathy for what they're doing, and I support it. Food Not Bombs is named by the principle that Dwight Eisenhower would have understood well, because Dwight Eisenhower in the 50s told people that every bomb that's dropped, every bullet that's fired, ultimately is a theft from a little child. And there's a lot of truth to that. President Eisenhower understood that you have to choose between your guns and your butter. And Food Not Bombs chooses butter.
Okay, Food Not Bombs seems to feel like that the problem is essentially capitalism, and obviously capitalism has been pretty good to you. Do you think that the problem lies in capitalism itself or elsewhere?
Well, I think that, as the name implies, the direct source of the problem is our enormous military expenditures, which rob our social programs. Right now, we see a debate going on about what to cut. Some people say that when we cut back on the federal government's expenditures, we should cut back on military expenditures, because we spend almost as much as the entire rest of the world combined, including our allies. We spend 5 times as much as China. We spend 10 times as much as Russia on our military expenditures. And at some point, as Eisenhower said, that becomes a theft from a little child. I know that there's people out there who feel otherwise. They think that when we cut, we should cut health care. We should cut health care for the people who need it the most and can't afford it. We should cut Social Security and make old people work until they die. To me, that's a 19th century way of thinking. I disagree with that. So I think that the fundamental problem isn't so much our economic system. The fundamental problem is the way that we have organized our priorities. And I think that one thing that people were really looking for in 2008 when they spoke about hope and about change was new priorities. And we have a ways to go before we see that happening.